Hey AI builders, in this video I'll share with you my Swiss AI automation dashboard that I use to share transcripts, analytics and some of the knowledge base with my clients. And I'm going to share you why I have this, how I arrived here, and also some useful things that I implemented that might be great for you if you are sharing knowledge with your clients, even if you're not building your own dashboard. So if that sounds interesting, stick along and let's get started. So first, when I built my AI assistants for my clients, I just used VoiceFlow, and I sold one of them to a client, and I quickly found out that I obviously can't share transcripts directly from VoiceFlow, because the VoiceFlow login just goes to the builder with all this functionality that you see here, and you also see the transcripts, but it's not designed to share with clients. So what I started doing first is recording Loom videos where I walk them through the transcripts. And that worked in the beginning, but I found it not very scalable. And also I wanted the clients to give the ability to just look through conversations in their own speed and look around. So that's when I built the first version of my dashboard. I'm now at version 2. This was the first version. And what I did in this version is I just built some front end in front of the VoiceFlow APIs that directly query VoiceFlow and get input, download the data from VoiceFlow. So if I click here on transcripts, I have nothing stored at all. This is directly sending a query to VoiceFlow, an HTTP request, and getting back this list. And now if I click on one of them, another HTTP prompt gets sent to VoiceFlow and a response comes back. And you see you can directly read the conversation here. And this was the first thing that I built for the clients. Then I thought, well, it would probably be nice to also have some analytics. And great enough, VoiceFlow also has their own analytics API. So this is simply a front end that I built in front of the VoiceFlow Analytics API. And if you're curious about the technical detail, how I exactly built this, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to make a more technical video where I go in detail how I built it. This took me a few days building on some fundamentals of coding that I already had. And then the last thing that I also built is a knowledge base. This is just building on the new database API that VoiceFlow offers, because you cannot easily put Q&As in the knowledge base of VoiceFlow without using the API. And since I had to build something for the API anyways, because I wanted to use Q&As for the knowledge base, I just built this in front. And this is a bit of a dangerous implementation, because every time I save these Q&A, I have to delete and then update the Q&A with the new questions and answers. And because I don't store anything in this version 1 of the dashboard, it's possible that if something goes wrong, the whole Q&A gets deleted. So that made me the most nervous and actually brought me to the conclusion that I need to have my own database where I at least store this on my own. And once that thought developed, I thought I should probably store more than just that. And at that point, you might also ask, well, Gregor, why do you build this yourself in the first place? Aren't there any other services? And I actually would have hoped that there are other solutions, but there are not. There is something called ChatDash, which I looked at, but they are not reliable enough to me that I would be comfortable sharing their dashboard with a client. And also they don't look professional enough. If you, for example, look at the small chat widget that they have, you can't use the VoiceFlow widget anymore with them. So there was just really no good solution for me rather than do this myself. And so I came to the conclusion I had to build something a bit bigger with my own database. And that's when I came to version 2 of my dashboard, which is what you see right here. So this is just the homepage. Let me give you an overview and then share some of the more interesting details. First, you see some analytics like the daily users and the monthly users. Those were available before because they come directly from the VoiceFlow API. But now I have something new. I have the language distribution here, which I have here because I built this particular instance for a language school, so the students might communicate in different languages. And this now is built myself. And the way this works is that for every single transcript, I send an API request to OpenAI and do an analysis, which creates a summary, a topic summary, and also it analyzes the language. And because I have this data now stored in my database, I can easily analyze it and put this graph here in the analytics, which I think is really interesting to see how many people use what language. And then here we have another analytics that I came up myself. This is just the average message count for conversations every day. So you can see, do the conversations get longer? And of course, if you have a small number of conversations, that can influence the average very much, but still it gives you some insights on what's going on here. Now that's just the overview. Let's look at some more details. In the menu, we have, again, the same split as in the version 1, transcripts, analytics, and knowledge, but some additional things. I just added a dark mode and a light mode because I figure a lot of people like dark mode these days, and I want to scale this dashboard in the future, so I just implemented this. And my clients don't necessarily speak English, so I translated the whole page to German as well. And you can see also that summaries here are translated in German. And if you're curious how I did that, because it's not just a simple few clicks, I'm also happy to share you the details. Let me know in the comments, but it might take a bit of time to explain, so I'll skip it for this video. But for now, let's continue here in English. And let me go into more detail. You see here are the transcripts. I have a search function where you can look for example, for a number, or you can look for a specific topic. And if I am looking for a particular date, there is a date picker as well, which just sorts out the relevant dates. And we have some additional columns like the duration that show how long someone chatted. If it's 11 hours, it's most likely that there were several chats, one 11 hours earlier and then the other. And you see here is one 13 hours even. So, I mean, 13 days. So sometimes they take some time, and this gives a nice overview and makes it much easier. Also with my version 1 of the implementation, if you look at the transcripts, when I talk to my clients, it's really hard to clearly see what transcript you're talking about if they see an issue with a particular transcript. So I did away with these official ID things from VoiceFlow, and I just implemented my own ID system where I count up from 1 to whatever number is the latest one. So it's very easy to refer to a specific transcript. And it's also in the URL. So if I click on one of these transcripts, this one, it will be the URL /752. So it's also very easy to open it and share the link to that particular conversation. So then let's click on one and see what happens. If I click on a transcript, you see on the left side we'll have the same overview again, and on the right side we have the details. Actually pretty much the same as you would see inside of the VoiceFlow transcripts dashboard. Basically, that's what I wanted to rebuild in the first place, right? So clients can just see what I'm doing here. And so that's all there is to it. So they can look through it, and if they want to remember something, I built this bookmark function so they can easily click on one, and then it's easy to remember which one you wanted to talk about, for example. That's really all there is to it. These are in the original language. They don't translate. That's a feature I might implement at some point, but I didn't do it. I also implemented this hover effect where it adds the date and the message number just to give some more detail, or if you want to refer to one specific message in a long conversation where there was an issue, that also makes it really easy. All right, and then the analytics. This is the same that I showed on the home screen. It's just a bit bigger so you can have a nice look, and it's easy to make this bigger and smaller as well. By the way, this whole website is also mobile friendly, so if you make this smaller, they will jump on one column, And if you make it bigger, they will just fill out the whole space, so you can look at it in more detail. And here it shows additional languages, whereas on the home screen, due to space reasons, it cuts off after 7. So these are the analytics, and the knowledge, it will look exactly the same as in the version 1, but instead of just sending it to VoiceFlow directly, it's now also stored in my database first. And if you want to delete something, what I did here is you can't delete it right away, but you need to click and then save the changes, and that confirms the delete. And what I should do, it's not implemented yet, is that I just archive it instead of deleting it, so it would still be around in my knowledge base. But anyways, I won't lose everything accidentally with this implementation, which feels much better. Yeah, and so that is my dashboard right now. I'm probably going to develop this further and also put it on my homepage. If you have any additional ideas what I should add to this, or just general thoughts how I could improve this, I'd be very eager to hear about it in the comments. And otherwise, let me know what details you'd be eager to hear about. It's the first bigger coding project that I ever did, and obviously I benefited a lot from using AI myself when building this. But it's really possible for everyone and anyone to build something like this now, if you just have a few days or weeks available to do it. Yeah, that was my AI dashboard. I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.